Happy Wealth Wednesday. So excited to have you here, Maureen, and representing Artie, which has just been this like flourishing community and in the NFT space. And just to hear and share more about your story as a woman building community. I'd love if you to kick us off with just a bit of an intro of who you are, where you're from, and what's lighting you up these days.
Thank you so much for having me, Alana. I'm just super happy and grateful to be here. And so to tell you a little bit about me, I was born and raised on a French island called Réunion, that's near Madagascar. And then I moved to France when I was 12 years old, and I went to college in Paris and at La Sorbonne, where I studied foreign languages, so English, Spanish. And then I lived for a little bit in Barcelona, and then I moved to Los Angeles when I was 20 years old. I still didn't really know what I wanted to do with my career, and I just fell in love with filmmaking. And so I decided to go to film school, and I just ended up at USC, and I graduated in film and TV production. And so, and I had a baby in between, in the middle of all of that, my daughter, Amadeus, who's 8 years old now. And so I graduated, and when I was done with my degree, I just decided to meet with producers because I wanted to be in film or TV. So I just cold emailed a bunch of producers that I really admired. So the people that had produced movies or TV shows that I loved. And I just tried my luck. So I met amazing people, and someone that I had interned with sent me to see a producer at one of the studios. And after an hour of talking, I just said at the very end of the meeting that, oh, I love film and TV, but I'm also into new technology, like AR, VR, and things like that. And he immediately was like, oh my gosh, you need to meet my friend, Brian Horrigan. So I went to meet Brian Horrigan. So Ryan is the CEO of Artie. I had just graduated like in May, and it was June, and we connected, we talked. I met his co-founder, Armando, and they made me an offer. And it was just, didn't make any sense for what I wanted to do, but it felt right. And so I joined. And so that's and I've been at the company at Artie since then. It's been 3 years.
Incredible. And now you're playing this role of community building, which is actually some of the most essential elements of any NFT project. And so I can't wait to dive into that, and especially just seeing the enormous production that you guys just did in NFT NYC. There's so much to dive into. So I can't wait for that. I know you're behind a lot of the essence of that, and it's really special. So one of the first questions we ask everyone here, just to kind of demystify for anyone who's trying to get started, is this idea of, do you remember what your first ever investment was? And an investment can mean a lot of different things. And just what got you started, or who got you started?
Definitely the first investment where it felt like financial stretch and something that I was putting a value on, but I knew I was going to reap so much more out of it, was an investment in myself. And it was an online course. And it happened during the pandemic. And I took a course with this incredible woman. Her name is Natalia Benson, and she's all about financial empowerment for women and also a conscious business. So I took courses on, like financial freedom, but it's a very, like you say, like a female, feminine lens on that. And so that was very empowering. Then I just started educating myself, a little more, and I'm still educating myself on things like stocks, and I love the idea of stocks because the idea of being able to participate and being a part of like the world economy is very appealing to me, and then NFTs. I just invested, my first NFT was an Artie NFT. So like, that's the funny part. I literally like, the founder of Artie, the co-founder Armando, helped me set up my wallet. So that's like, I literally got into it thanks to Artie very much, you know.
Wow, that's so special. So your first NFT was an Artie NFT. And I would love to hear like how and why you got into this space. So I really loved your journey of being interested in producing in television, but like what actually convinced you to say yes to these two crazy founders you had just met? What about the vision and the technology and really this idea of NFTs and Web3 appeal to you?
Wow. Well, it was 3 years ago. It was a completely different pitch. The company was in seed stage. It was a very small team. So what appealed to me at the time, I really connected with Ryan and Armando, so the co-founders. And at the time I had my daughter, she was, 5 years old, and the way how flexible they were with the idea that I might come in a bit later, leave a little bit early, like things like that, the open-mindedness to that was huge, in terms of the needs that I had at the time. And then like for me at the time, Artie was pitching intelligent avatars. And I had always fantasized about working in artificial intelligence. And so that was kind of a dream come true, and so I started at the company as assistant and office manager. And then I worked my way up to being in development, which, you may not, everything intersects with the skills that I got from film and, being in film school, storytelling and producing, very much transferable, once I joined Artie. And then, with the pandemic, things shifted radically, and with investors coming in and giving incredible advice to the co-founders, the company just kind of pivoted into mobile gaming. And then with the pandemic, there was an acceleration with crypto and NFTs and all of that. So everything shifted to NFTs. And so like if you look at our roadmap, we had our first NFT drop. That was with an artist. It's a couple from Mexico City, Chocotoy, and we have characters. We have a second one that's coming up, and we also have our first mobile game that's going to come up.
And so like one of the other questions we typically ask is, what role do you play in the wealth space and why is it important? And this may not seem like it applies, but when I think about wealth, it can be such a broader definition. And it can also include community. Like a feeling of belonging can make you feel really wealthy. So curious, how you see your role in that personally and then within the Artie world.
So in terms of personally, I always say that health is wealth. So I'm a huge advocate for, health and wellness, physical health, mental health. I'm a huge believer in like, a natural, like healthy lifestyle. And so I always, that to me is number one wealth, and then with Artie, for me, like you said, the wealth is because now, so I'm a community and events manager. The wealth that I'm creating and building there is in connection, IRL. And I love connecting people that, may really get along or have so much in common that they should totally know each other, because it just feels so good. And that is wealth, like there's nothing more important like than friendship. And like you just said, like a sense of belonging and having people that you can talk to that understand your language and that you can expand with and evolve with, So I really think there is nothing like bringing people together in one space, getting them to connect and exchange ideas and ask each other questions to just create more education and, just sparking ideas for the future. So that's what we did in NFT NYC. So much fun. And now we just kind of locked our calendar for the rest of the year. And I can't really talk about it, but it's going to be epic. And it's going to be very, very epic. And I'm, very, very excited. Yeah, it's going to be a good year. It's going to end really well.
I can't wait to follow along and figure out how we can follow along. So what do you think has been the most exciting thing you've learned since diving into the NFT space?
The concept of an NFT itself is, revolutionary, and I think the one concept that is also revolutionary to me that I really want to really learn more is a DAO. I think that's just, these two things are so powerful. And I think that there's so many of us that have very, very big dreams and want to have a huge impact in the world. And I really believe so strongly that I can't see us doing it without Web3 technology, which is, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and DAOs, and the communities that are born out of that.
And is there a person, company, or project that's really inspiring you right now that you would like to share?
So I would say you, like Eve Wealth, just like so, I'm obsessed, like so incredibly well done. And so you're like always, if anyone is asking me about Web3, a woman, I will always send them to Eve Wealth. So very much you, but anyone I think watching may already know this. So in terms of project of NFT projects, I really love my friend Maria Banos project. That's she's from Muses of Now, and that's the name of the project. And I really love what she's doing because she has a creative agency, and she very much comes from more of a fine art and art background. And she's nevertheless using this technology, to create NFTs with photographs and just, art and collaborating with artists. And I think that's so cool to be already doing this so early, So I really love that that project. And there's one community I want to mention, which is Moon Jelly, and it's ocean conservation, ocean impact. And I'm excited to, watch it grow and watch what it's going to do and see how everyone can kind of get inspired by what they're doing and doing it, themselves.
I love that. And what advice would you give to somebody getting started? You shared a lot about your journey, and if you're a non-technical person or somebody maybe artistic trying to get into this new technology and learn it, what advice, or even work in the industry, what advice would you give to somebody getting started?
I would say invest in yourself. So don't be afraid to jump the gun, to make a huge investment, and maybe to get a membership with Eve Wealth and just dive in and make a commitment, make a decision that you're going to learn about it, finding a platform that you can really fully trust, where you can connect with other women that are also maybe more seasoned than you are, but can give you pointers. And just finding thought leaders in this space. So people like you, Alana, and seeing who you're following and what you're into and what you recommend. And then I would say making a commitment, and I would say at least 1 year commitment, giving yourself 1 year to learn and grow and just not be afraid to reach out to people and ask what everyone else is doing,
Yeah, I love how you did that too in your own story. Like you really took the step to be vulnerable and make phone calls and ask for introductions and just start having conversations without any other expectation other than to connect and learn, and then how that led to ultimately what you're doing now. So it's really great advice. So you've previewed kind of what's to come on the calendar. How can we follow you personally and Artie? And how can we stay in touch with these upcoming events that you guys have planned?
Yes. So to keep in touch with everything Artie, you can go on Twitter. It's at the Artieverse. And we have like a weekly Twitter spaces with our amazing social media manager, Olivia. She's the best. And there's always team members coming on the show and talking, and the founders talk. It's really great. Our writer speaks. It's so fun. So you can join that every week. We're also on Instagram. It's at Artieverse, also on Instagram. And there's more coming. The website is also going to be revealed, a new version of it soon. So it's artie.com. And as far as me personally, I live most on Instagram, but that's my personal one. And it's my name, Marine Delorme, 1111. It's very much more on the personal side of things. And I'm also on Twitter, and it's at Marine Delorme XO.
Well, thank you so much. We'll definitely be following along, especially the upcoming calendar with Artie. And thank you so much for, just sharing your story and inspiring people creatively in the space and really bringing characters to life in this world. I can't wait to see the evolution of Artie and where you all go. So thanks so much for joining today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Alana. And I'll say one last thing. If anyone wants to reach out to me, please send me an email, marine.delorme@artie.com. I would love to hear from anyone. And so I'm here to help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.